What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Doomsday Clock and DCEU movie. So there will be spoilers for Doomsday Clock. This is very much a spoiler video for it. I'm actually doing a review over on the DC Fans channel, so they very graciously provided me with an issue of the actual comic books. So yeah, I will be doing a video over there on everything and a full review, and also I will be doing a flash video later tonight as well. But I will also be doing in this video a movie on the big Joss Whedon news, because I just could not, I just had to talk about it. But first of all, Doomsday Clock. Now, I'll give you a quick mini review in the fact that it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It really is a fantastic comic book. One of the first proper comic books I read was Watchmen. I read the stuff like The Long Halloween, Dark Knight Returns. I got them from the library, and then I actually saved up my pocket money and I got the trade paperback of Watchmen, and it has been with me ever since. And I actually really liked the movie. I really did enjoy the movie, but here we're getting pretty much a direct sequel. They haven't really said that. They've kind of shied away from calling it a sequel, but this is, as I've read this first issue, it is very much a direct sequel, but playing upon the DC Rebirth revelations that Dr. Manhattan is somehow involved with this entire world. Now, what is going on with Rorschach? Now, if you remember, poor old Rorschach was actually killed at the end of the first comic book, Watchmen. Now, the question is, he's actually returned here to save Marionette and Mime, two amazing brand new characters here in Doomsday Clock, who are actually the versions of Punch and Jewel. So obviously Rorschach was the question, but he was kind of remade here and given this Rorschach persona. But here, this is Punch and Jewel, who, if you have read Tom King's run on Batman, well, they were also in the kind of like the Bane storyline that we had with Psycho Pirate. So really good there. But the question is, how the hell has he returned? Well, they reveal that this isn't Rorschach. This isn't, well, it is Rorschach, it's the persona, but it isn't Walter Kovacs. And they actually reveal that he has a darker skin shade. So the question is, who the hell is it? Now, I actually don't mind this, considering that Night Owl and Silk Spectre, for example, weren't the original characters. The ones we got in this, we had a very protracted storyline about their kind of predecessors, and it is a good take on what is going on in comics where kind of people take over different personas, etc. So there are a few people who this could actually be. Now, the first one I'm going to present to you is actually Malcolm Long. Now, Malcolm Long, if you'll remember, was Rorschach's sort of psychiatrist when he was in prison. Now, the problem is that he might not actually be Rorschach, one, because he's a lot bigger. He's a lot bigger than we have in this comic. And also, he was actually shown at the end when the attack or the event was actually taking place. He was there looking dead, looking slumped on the ground, but his eyes were open. So it's quite possible that he could actually be Rorschach. But I would say that is a real long shot. Next up, we actually have Bernie. And Bernie, if you remember, was the kid who was reading the comics by the newsstand and was sort of like the kind of the barometer for what was going on in the world, in the kind of the civilian world. So that's someone else who could be Rorschach. I think that'd be a really cool thing there. I would like the fact maybe if he heard about Rorschach's journal, he then went on, and obviously we've got Ozymandias, who has Rorschach working for him, and this Rorschach is someone who isn't the sort of cruel, kind of real, almost evil, not evil, but like very uncompromising. So this is a new Rorschach who actually kind of can bend to someone's will just a bit, but he gets the job done. And this is all assuming that it's a guy. This is all just presuming that it's a guy. But let's present the third idea. And the third idea is insane. This could be Duke Thomas. Now, Duke Thomas is, if you don't know who Duke Thomas is, he is actually the new Batman sidekick. Not Robin, but he is actually known now as the Signal, or he will be at least when he has his Batman and the Signal run very, very soon. Now, Duke Thomas was actually involved in the Zero Year storyline, very amazing storyline. Go and read that if you haven't read it. And Batman actually saves him and his family. And yeah, he has also been involved in DC Metal, which has shown that the Signal, or Duke Thomas, is possibly a metahuman and has some connection to the Dark Matter universe and can actually be used to access different universes. So what do you think? Do you think that this could actually be any of these three? Personally, I possibly might go with Malcolm. I think that would make the most sense considering he's had contact with him. But these are just three ideas which I want you to let me know what you think. Who could this actually be? Now, there are some other things in this which are just crazy, in the fact that we actually see Superman. Now, Superman is supposedly a huge part of this. We've got a huge Watchmen background story, but what we also have is the connection to the DC universe, and at the end we actually get a look and see the group, our new group, with Marionette, Mime, Rorschach, and Ozymandias, and his little pet there as well. They are now on the search for Dr. Manhattan, and Dr. Manhattan went to another galaxy where things weren't as complicated. And what he could have possibly done is go, well, as we know, he is in the DC universe, so he's probably come to the DC universe and is actually manipulating events to how he actually wants them. And how he wants them is possibly just, what could he want? Maybe he wants Superman to be the almighty. He is now positioning Superman, or has been influenced Superman, maybe to not be a hero. He's had Mr. Oz involved. He's had also Batman has had other things involved with Thomas Wayne, asking him not to be Batman and things like that. So what is going on as we have Superman wake up to a nightmare of his parents being alive and crash? Maybe Dr. Manhattan is actually influencing it so there is no Superman, or Superman stops, there's no Batman, so he can actually take over, maybe, or maybe someone's got too close to working out his plans. But these are just big things here in Doomsday Clock, which is fantastic. And please do take a look at the DC Fans channel, and subscribe to them, because my full review will actually be over on there. Now, next up, we also have something else. We have something which is big. And now, please do take this with a complete and utter pinch of salt. And this is coming from Super Bro Movies, a website which personally I've never actually heard of. And they apparently have the exclusive that Joss Whedon has actually been fired from the Batgirl movie. Now, if you'll remember, Joss Whedon was announced to be being involved with the Batgirl movie, but then he ended up taking over the role of Justice League when Zack Snyder sadly had to depart from the project due to family issues. So what actually happened here is he's actually taken over the role of Justice League, so he's doing this first, then doing Batgirl. But the executives didn't like his scandal that broke out about him having lots of affairs with his wife, and the fact that he was a feminist, a very outspoken kind of feminist ally, but he was also a complete and utter misogynist and cheating on his wife, which is terrible. So the thing here is, it looks like he won't actually be directing Batgirl. Now, I'm a bit gutted. I would have liked to see him actually direct and create Batgirl, because especially the one where she was on Burnside as well, the New 52, I think that would have fit really well, but sadly we may not actually get that. Now, a lot of people are very angry at Joss Whedon for potentially actually ruining poor old Justice League. So a lot of people are really, really angry at him for that, and especially the major scenes were actually cut from all of these movies, from Justice League. There was major, like, Iris West scenes, which I was gutted about, and the prologue scene was completely cut as well, or at least we got a little bit of it. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think that Joss Whedon leaving is a good idea, or is it just another example of the DCEU absolutely crashing and burning. But that is it for this video. Please do drop a like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.